Hi, I'm Shandi, and the shell is here, but the nut is gone.
Hi, I'm Craig, and I will not rest in peace.
Hi, I'm Kylee, and please step softly because a dream lies buried here. And this is Seance with My Siblings, Unique Grave Edition. Welcome to the Seance. Gotta get them sound effects in there.
They're very high-tech.
So high-tech.
The most high-tech.
It cost a lot of money, you guys.
Yeah.
We pay someone to call for us.
We pay a ghost to come in and make those oohing noises.
Who knows what they do with the money, but it's not our business.
Yeah, that's none
They
of our
spend
business.
it on booze. Okay. Cemeteries. Cemeteries have been around for thousands of years, and it is believed that the oldest known cemetery in the world is the Taferalt Cave in Morocco. It was the resting place of at least 34 people and has been dated to 15,100 to 14,000 years ago. Around the world, people have found a variety of ways to put the dead to rest.
Ooh.
As cemeteries became more available... Oh, I skipped a whole thing. Greeks built cemeteries outside of their ancient cities and are credited for creating the term cemetery. In Europe, churchyards were frequently used to bury the dead, a tradition that found its way to America. It wasn't until the 18th century that planned public park-like areas began to become popular as cemeteries in the United States.
They knew what was up.
They did
It's
know
just
what
like the dead park. You just go to the dead park. You have picnics with your relatives that are buried there. You just play. It's beautiful.
like literally, like they used to use them for like birthdays, anniversaries,
Ooh.
holidays. Families would plan like all day outings just to go like visit these cemeteries because they really were more just like parks. Yeah.
That's
What a
metal.
beautiful remembrance.
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
As cemeteries became more available for the masses, instead of large monuments, families purchased simpler marble or stone markers and eventually ground-level markers to make maintenance easier. But in some cemeteries and places of burial, there are some unique graves, some with strange and unusual pasts, and some with histories that have been lost to time. The Istre Cemetery is one such place with some unique graves. The Istre Cemetery in Morse, Louisiana was founded in 1886. This cemetery has 874 documented memorials, according to findagrave.com, and at one time in history, it had between 40 to 50 grave houses. Today, only 3 grave houses still stand, and in the Istre Cemetery, these grave houses were placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2008 and on the Louisiana Trust for Historic Preservation's in 2022 Endangered Places list. So these houses were built of the only material that they could use and find at the time, which was wood, and wood does not last super long.
Nope.
No way.
So of these 40 to 50, they've all collapsed due to time and weather and other things, and so there are only 3 now. These grave houses are unique, small, Acadian-style houses built to shelter the graves. The 3 houses that still stand are the Istre Grave House, built in 1925, the Henry Grave House, built in 1935, and the LeBlanc Grave House, built in 1900. No one is sure why they were built or why they stopped building them, but there are some theories in folklore in which the answer may lie. The grave houses are complete miniature houses with siding, hinged doors, windows, and sometimes complete and decorated interiors. A lot of times, too, they will have photographs, like either on the tomb or like hanging on the walls of these houses, because it was a popular French tradition to have the photograph of somebody.
That's cool.
The grave house. Oh, I said that. These grave houses were built by the Cajun Catholic settlers in the Acadia Prairie region of South Louisiana. There are theories that these houses were built as shrines. Another is they were based on Native American spirit or grave houses. The idea of the grave house is simple: a structure built over a grave to serve as a home for the spirit. Grave houses in Louisiana specifically may have roots in an old legend about a homesteading family. Once, long ago, a man lived the hard scrabble life of a pioneer. He married a woman as independent as he was. She had to be. The couple had a fierce and prideful bunch of sons and daughters. Finally, the tough old man faced death. His people gathered round. Gravely ill, coughing on his deathbed, the father spoke as best he could. "My children," he said, "my time is short. When I go, bury me in the corner of the pasture with the big oak tree, and don't let the rain fall on my face." His children followed his wishes. They built a pine box to hold his body, dug a hole in his favorite corner of the farm, and to keep the rain from falling on his face, cut and nailed and stuck boards together to build a small house to cover his grave. Grave houses have changed a lot over time, and while their true origins are uncertain, they are still monuments to be honored. The people that grave houses were built for were often small children, mothers who died young, and soldiers. Local stories and folklore are passed from person to person and often contain supernatural elements. An example of this includes the grave house of a young boy who died in a fire and is then buried in the woods protected by a grave house. When fires swept through the area, the grave house was left untouched.
Wild.
That is wild.
There is also a documentary about these grave houses called Little Houses, a small film about death.
Aww.
It's super
It's so
interesting.
cute.
It is. The title is
know.
super fun.
It is.
And it just kind of talks about the grave houses, the history of the cemetery, and the historical aspects of the grave houses, and how they're trying super hard to preserve Louisiana's history. It's wild to me that history, folklore, and practice around these houses has been lost to time. Nobody knows
Exactly.
when or why or how. Well, they know how they've been built.
How these houses got here.
They just appeared. But yeah, why did they start building the grave homes? And when did people stop building these grave houses? Was it the commercialization of death? Probably.
I'm sure.
Or the death of a tradition, an oppression of certain
Both?
beliefs? Perhaps we will never know.
All of those.
All of the above.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of these houses?
I think they're cool. I think I want well, we'll get into that. But I want something similar.
Ooh,
Yes.
Not that I could have it here. Who knows?
I don't know.
Bet, do it anyway. I really like that they are taking their pictures and leaving that information available for people to see. I really love seeing a picture on headstone. It just feels very nice to be able to see the person, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a really
Yeah.
nice thing to be able to see the person that's there.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
Instead
when
of
they
a
have
mat.
younger pictures of themselves too.
Yes.
Yeah,
it-
I'm like,
particularly
don't
that.
put my 90-year-old picture there, please.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Put one of my young hot pictures, please. No nudes.
No nudes, please. Ones I've seen, they're in black and white, but they're still the younger version of that
Mhm.
person, in
I
a
love
suit
that.
or something, or dress, and it's just
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah.
And I like that they'll put it in the little house.
Mhm.
I think that's
Has a
interesting.
little, yeah.
Mhm. You can, yeah,
Yeah.
that's way cool. All right, y'all. So today, I'm going to be talking to you about the bleeding tombstone.
Ooh.
Yes.
Spill the tea.
The tea is that. Sorry, I was moving around the microphone. I had
It's
it.
all
Yeah, if y'all hear that, I'm so sorry. But yeah, this headstone is in Pennsylvania, and it is one of the tallest markers in the Union Cemetery, which is interesting. It is the headstone to Daniel, a Muser, and his wife Lydia A. Musser. The stone for Daniel and Lydia Musser is said to have repeatedly emitted from like the name Musser, specifically the U, a liquid that resembles blood. And the mystery includes a phenomenon and the wondering about a seemingly honest man and woman who rest below. So I guess there were people in the lore who think that Daniel was a serial killer, and that's why it bleeds. And there have been reports of people like seeing a knife just like randomly being placed at the headstone because of the local lore that said Daniel was a murderer. And like that's also why they think it bleeds.
Right. Because maybe the victims are like, this
reaching
motherfucker.
out that way.
Yeah. This dude killed us. He killed us. Murderer.
The blood.
The blood.
He's here. But there are also sources saying that like So, okay, let me start here. So there was a murder that had happened that a lot of people in the town had blamed on Daniel. But like when you look back, you can see that him and his wife were dead before the murder even took place. And people were still...
He was such a prolific serial killer. He
Exactly.
came back from the grave and did it.
Exactly. Yes. But so that's like...
It's like, no facts.
No
They're
facts.
like, he did it.
He
was dead.
It was a killer who... Just kidding.
Yeah.
Not my conspiracy theory. But it was the killer who's like, oh, it was Daniel.
Oh.
It's how I think it happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who would like... Oh, no, it was this guy. See? And he can't say it wasn't him because he's dead.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why the headstone is bleeding. Because of the murder.
So how many victims does anyone even say, like, facts? Like, he had X amount of victims, allegedly.
So they said 2.
That's not a serial killer.
Which, yeah, no, that's not a serial killer. That is mud.
Yeah.
But there's also, like, no proof that it was even Daniel anyway.
And when he was dead.
So
that one definitely wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, just like the interesting things that, like, people will come up with.
Dude.
But also, the family had replaced the bleeding tombstone, and it still bleeds from the same spot. And they placed a metal plaque over it, and it still like bleeds from the metal plaque.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah.
At this point, you just give up, guys.
Yeah, it's just haunted, or he's trying to get his name right for the people who said he murdered people.
Okay. I think I wouldn't make my headstone bleed if I was trying to convince people I was not the murderer.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
No, same.
What would you guys do instead?
I would appear in the room as an apparition and tell them what's good.
Same.
I would be like, yo, I'm not the murderer. Yes. But all the information I was finding from like several different sources like waymarking.com and discoverypa.blogpost.com, just to name a few, were saying that like basically the same information, like the tombstone had been replaced a few times, it was bleeding, and the local lore was saying that he had killed people. So it's not like a whole lot really like regarding the murders even, or like anything like that. So
are there pictures online of the grave?
But
because I want to know, is there like a tree that has some sort of sap that could be leaking onto it? I just want to rule out. Okay. No tree.
It's just a tall boy.
It is huge.
It is huge.
I can't imagine replacing that multiple times.
Yeah.
I don't know if they just replaced the part
I think they
where
just
the name
replaced like
is.
the
Okay, because it's a huge, beautiful monument. It's that costed some monies.
Oh yeah,
dollar bills, y'all.
Dollar bills. But yeah, that is the bleeding tombstone. It's very interesting, like all the just lore around it, and it said it hasn't bled in like years, but there's still like the stains.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I wonder why it quit bleeding.
Because he gave up. He's like, whatever, guys.
He's like, y'all.
You're not getting it.
Yeah, literally.
Or maybe whoever was actually doing the killing died.
Oh.
That's a good one too.
Or maybe the people who were making it happen died, so they can't go and make blood there anymore.
Yeah.
That's true too.
That is
Also,
true.
I wish someone had collected a sample so we could send it off to a lab to analyze it.
Right.
I don't know how much that costs, but I'd be willing to chip in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Now I gotta know.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the older generations too that were saying that would like see the first-hand blood really, and like just like bunch of like people in the town. So I think it's really a lot rooted in like local legends.
And where is this located again?
It is at the cemetery called Century County, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
and at Union Cemetery.
Union Cemetery.
hmm
Okay.
West of Millhead Road, Route 45. So,
Nice.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
It is fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
I want to know why.
I know, and I
Yeah.
want to know what the substance is, and I want to know who did it.
Mhm.
What kind of fuckery was happening?
What kind of fuckery is this?
What scientists can we get there to like scrape a sample off and be like, what is this?
Literally.
It looks like it's stained from liquid being there, but it doesn't seem like there's anything to scrape off anymore.
Mm.
Because it hasn't bled in years.
Yeah, it's been a couple years since it's bled, yeah.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on it.
Right. If it starts bleeding again, like during some specific time period or something,
Ooh,
yes.
that would be interesting.
Yes.
it's just an omen.
Mhm, it has cycles
Yes.
that we don't understand. Thanks, Craig.
Yeah.
thanks,
That was
Craig.
fun.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a fun ride.
That was a
Oh, yeah.
fun ride.
Okay, so I'm going to have to give y'all a trigger warning.
Bum, bum.
Bum, bum. I'm going to be talking about the passing of children, but in the context of the monuments their loving parents built for them in remembrance. But if that is still hard for you, just go ahead and skip this and we will see you next week.
Yes.
Well, not see you.
Well,
You can join us next week. You can join the seance again. We give you permission to leave the seance. Nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
We open the circle for you and we will close it back up when you leave. Anyway, so I am going to be talking about dollhouse headstones.
ooh.
I'm excited.
They
I'm so
are
excited.
so cool, so beautiful, such a loving way to remember a small human. And this happened a lot in the South. I couldn't find any in the northern states, and this happened a lot in the early 1900s, late 1800s.
Okay, kind of. Because these
Yeah.
are also in the South,
Yeah.
like the grave houses, and they're also in the 18 and
Uh-huh.
1900s.
Yeah.
So it was
it's
it
the
was a
same
thing.
time frame. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. In Lynette, Alabama, there is a beautiful little house set inside of an odd place to see such a cute little playhouse. It is odd because it is nestled inside of the city cemetery. Nadine Earls was only 4 when she passed away on December 18th in 1933. She had a long battle with diphtheria and then pneumonia, and she passed away just before Christmas, just before her father could finish the dollhouse he was building for her. Her parents decided to hire contractors to build a dollhouse for Nadine to be buried under. They placed her dolls and tea set inside the garden-sized shed dollhouse, and later both her mother and father were buried next to the life-size dollhouse built in a brick bungalow style. It is seriously beautiful, so cute, so sweet. Everything is set up just ready to go play.
Oh,
That's awesome.
that's
yeah. As of the article I read about it, her brother continues to maintain this very sweet remembrance of his sister.
cool. Oh,
Aw.
This dollhouse is what everyone who plays with dolls dreams of having. The love and care that went into it and the fact that no shitheads have defaced it or broken the windows really says something about how special this monument must be to the community. It appears to be big enough that I could comfortably walk into it and have a tea party and bring Samantha along with me to meet Nadine's dolls.
Hey.
I know. I believe Nadine and her parents are together and not hanging out at a cemetery, but who knows? Like, I would go visit if that was my dollhouse. I would go visit sometimes, just pop in.
Just for fun.
Mm-hmm. So, Indiana is the home of 2 different dollhouse grave markers. Vivian May Allison of Connorsville, Indiana, died on October 20th, 1899 at the age of 6, with a very similar story to Nadine. Vivian's father, Horace, was building a dollhouse for her as a Christmas present. Horrifically, she passed away before she could receive her dollhouse on Christmas morning. Her parents, devastated and grieving, decided to use her dollhouse as the grave marker. They placed her toys and trinkets inside and set it up so it is all ready to play with. Her parents were able to love and care for the dollhouse for 70 years.
Wow.
Then Vivian's sister took over. As with us all, Vivian's sister passed away, and then no one was left to take care of the dollhouse, leaving it vulnerable to vandals. And so those shitheads do what they do, and they broke the windows and managed to pull it off its base. Isn't that disgusting?
People are the worst.
Like, I was a shithead teenager. I'm still a shithead, and I would never.
Never.
I can't. What kind of a person does that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like just...
It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
So the town rallied together. Several volunteers in the town of Connorsville took this very personally, as they should,
Good, yeah.
and as I would also. These volunteers completely renewed the house and restored it to its rightful place and bolted it into concrete so little fuckers cannot do any fuckery.
Literally.
Yeah. And so it's not easily removed.
Good.
Yeah. And I forgot to show you guys. You guys can all jujule all of this.
They're so cute.
Yeah. This is Nadine's.
Okay. It's literally like a
literally
tiny brick house. It's got like
Oh,
It's got a
shillings on the
door.
roof.
that's so cute.
Yeah, it has a little porch. It has everything. It has a
lot of
little
detail,
mailbox. Yeah, it is a cute little brick bungalow.
It's adorable.
And like I could fit in it. It looks tall and I'm only 5'2". So like I could comfortably probably stand in it.
Hell yeah.
Anybody else, no. Unless you're shorter than me. Sorry about it. And then who did we just talk about? We just talked about Vivian. So this is Vivian's little house.
Oh, cute.
It's very ornate, beautiful, just like Nadine's, but hers is smaller. It's actual dollhouse sized. And it looks like people come and leave little toys and candles and stuff.
That's so
cute.
Yeah.
That is cute.
Okay. Our next Indiana dollhouse belongs to Lavina Klein, and it is located in Rushville, Indiana. Lavina was born with a physical illness that was unknown to doctors in 1902, when she was born. She was unable to play with toys and run around like her peers. Sorry, I needed some water. The one activity she could do was gaze into the windows of her dollhouse. This little soul didn't have to stay around long. She passed away in 1908. As with our other dollhouses, her devastated parents wanted her to have her beloved dollhouse with her. There is some debate on if this grave marker was her actual dollhouse or if it was specifically built to be a grave marker.
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, it was built with love and care, making sure to have big windows, big long windows, which as you see, like the windows are abnormally large, probably for if it was a dollhouse you would actually play with.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like it was built to look into as opposed to actually play in.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see. Either way, yeah. Just read that. Okay, so Lubino's father was unable to get the plots next to his daughter for himself and his wife, so he wanted the dollhouse to be torn down upon his death. I'm guessing, and this is just my assumption, is because he wasn't going to be there to take care of it and he didn't want it to be defaced.
Right.
Without someone there to take care of it.
Yeah.
Right? But the town had grown to love the monument so much that somehow they came together and moved Lavina to be buried with her parents and moved the dollhouse with her.
Oh,
I
that's like so
know.
sweet.
I love these stories of people coming together and helping out people that no longer can do for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Our next dollhouse is located in Tennessee and belongs to Dorothy Marie Harvey. And this one's like the saddest one, who passed away from measles in 1931 at around the age of 5. She never lived in Medina, Tennessee. Her family was traveling through Tennessee to find work. So her family was not financially stable. They were experiencing severe financial hardship. Their daughter's sick. And they still have to travel to where the work is anyway. And so they have to bury her in a town that they didn't live in. They had no family, no roots, nothing. I know.
That's awful.
That is so heartbreaking. The town banded together, living up to the Tennessee is the good neighbor state.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm good. I feel really teary right now. Ugh.
It's sweet. It's a sweet
Yeah,
story.
so the town banded together, living up to their name of the good neighbor state, and helped to bury and place a headstone for Dorothy. I just can't see anyone here doing that.
No.
In our little town, nar. They'd be like, oh, I guess we'll give them a plot and one of those little metal plaques that are free from the mortuary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got her a headstone and laid her to rest, and later a dollhouse. It looks like they built it up on stilts so that its windows are at eye level of the people coming to pay respects. So that one's a little different. It's Nah, I don't know where it is. Here. This is the original one. So the town placed this little dollhouse. It looks almost like one of those little free book lending libraries.
Yeah, it does.
It's just a little house-shaped structure with one window at the front.
Okay.
And it's up on stilts. So sadly, as with all cool and unique things and beautiful things, assholes just want to destroy it. And vandals ruined this beautiful monument. The town would just not have this and built a bigger dollhouse that has a door big enough to walk into and place toys and flowers for little Dorothy. So that is this. Is it that one? I swear I saw an image of it. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
So her marker, her gravestone marker, the first one is in the little house. And then it's shed-sized again.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as tall. It's hard to tell reference. There's nothing for reference.
Yeah.
And then it has a door that opens up and you can place flowers and toys inside for her.
That's so sweet.
It's so cool.
And this is where the haunted part comes in. This dollhouse has a legend attached to it. It seems that Dorothy likes to come visit her dollhouse. People who have come to pay their respects have had the delight of seeing Dorothy or maybe some other little spirit sitting in the dollhouse. No one knows what Dorothy looks like at this point.
Right.
Yeah. So I personally am very skeptical of child spirits. I do not believe spirits get stuck anywhere they do not choose to be, especially kids. I do, though, believe that spirits can go visit anywhere they choose. So maybe Dorothy really does come hang out in her dollhouse. I mean, I would if I were her.
Yeah.
I would totally. If I had something that cool, I'd come visit.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Especially if people were there to visit me and I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, oh, okay.
That'd be cool.
These houses have inspired me and what my burial plans will be. Even though I am a grown-ass lady, I also have a doll problem. And originally I wanted my ashes to be put into a cement starfish and put into the ocean to help rebuild the coral reefs. There's a whole company that does this, and they have a spot where they are placing these things. I heard Julia Child is is there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now I am rethinking this. My husband wants a more traditional burial and is a little sad that I do not want to be buried next to him. It seriously freaks me out to think of my body rotting in the ground. I don't know. It just freaks me the fuck out. I can't do it. I won't do it.
I want to be a skeleton so bad.
Okay. And so you shall be.
And so I shall be.
So you
But
shall
I
be.
understand how that could, like,
Yeah,
freak
that's-
people
Isn't
out.
that weird how we all like have our own wishes?
Yes.
And like things that we're not okay with and things that we're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
want that. So now I think if my cremains can be put into a dollhouse above his grave, then we will both be happy.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
We could split up your cremains. We could put half with Peter and then
Mhm,
half,
in
into
the ocean.
starfish.
There we go. And I'm like, I just want it simple. Just cremate me and be done with it. Oh wait, just kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So my sources are Atlas Obscura, RoadsideAmerica.com, Burials and Beyond, and Odds and Ends in Midwest History and Happenings.
Shit, I forgot to say my sources.
Say your sources, girl.
My sources: The Mystery Behind the Louisiana Grave has baffled historians for decades by onlylouisiana.com, the Istre Cemetery Grave Houses Wikipedia page, and the Cemetery History Wikipedia page. And those are my sources.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone. Bless you, Craig.
Hey, bless you. We're all kind of sneezy today.
Oh,
It's-
you guys, there's fires and all sorts of fuckery going on. Things are dying
the
and
ragweed
blowing
is
around.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
things are like dying and drying, and their seeds and stuff are releasing, and it's rough.
it's rough.
It's rough. But guys, we have listeners all over the world.
We
Thank
do.
you for
We do.
listening. It's
We
wild.
do. It is wild. We
And
have,
we have so many in America. Like,
We do.
Thank you.
like Japan, the UK,
We see you. We
we
see you,
see you.
Berlin.
Yes.
Portugal.
We see you, Portugal.
We
and
see you.
like Utah and California and New York.
Yeah, they're
are
popping
showing
off.
up.
They're plopping. What'd you say? Popping all the
Popping
way
off.
off.
I stole that from Bailey Sarian.
Oh,
I love you, Bailey. Like she's listening. If you ever listen,
you never know.
if you ever want to be a guest,
Please.
or we could be on your history podcast.
Yeah, we can history.
Yeah. Or you could do my makeup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, we've got the United States, China, Germany, the UK, Portugal. We had some in Australia. This is just from this week, so we've only got our stats
Yeah.
from this week. But overall, yeah,
Yeah.
lots of places.
Lots of
and we
places.
super appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Tell a spooky bestie about us, please.
Yes, tell your friends.
Tell a spooky coworker, spooky family member, or if you just like hate someone and want to make them have nightmares,
Yeah.
tell them about us.
And
Anyway, thanks for joining the seance.
yeah, we have them socials.
we do.
We have an Instagram.
At Seance with my siblings.
We have a TikTok.
Seance with my siblings.
We have a YouTube.
Seance with my
My
siblings.
siblings.
We have a Facebook.
Seance with my siblings.
And we have a Gmail where you can send us your ghost stories so they can be read live on the podcast.
And send us your pets.
Yes.
Send us your ghost pics.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is seancewithmysiblings@gmail.com.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye. Wave at the microphone.